JJ the CPA here. Let's talk about the difference between profit and gross profit and why it's important to you. So if you own a business, everybody's interested in what's the profit. What I would first be interested in is what's the gross profit. Gross profit is you take your gross sales, and really what I would think you'd want to look at is what's your gross collections. So let's talk about cash basis. So here's what I sold, and now I've got direct costs. And many of you may say, well, but I'm not selling a widget, so I'm not buying up inventory and then reselling it. But most businesses are going to have a direct cost. So even like in a dental practice, the direct cost would be the dentist, the direct cost would be the hygienist and the medical supplies or the dental supplies. So just using that as an example on that. So on that point, if you take your gross collections, your gross sales minus your direct cost, what I would call your variable costs, from that, that's then your gross profit. So think of this. If you didn't have any sales, then what would be the expenses that you wouldn't have? Variable expenses. What would then be the expenses that you would have no matter what? So it doesn't matter if you show up, you're going to have this expense. Rent, utilities, phone, insurance. Those are things that no matter what you sell, you're going to have. That's your overhead. Those are your fixed costs. So the variable costs that you have, so the more I sell, the more I collect, the bigger I get, I'm going to have more of these variable expenses. Maybe it is the inventory, but look at the payroll that would go along with that. And here's why that's important. When you're looking at your gross profit, that's what's then actually left to pay your fixed costs. And so when you're looking at what is the net income, and if you're not happy with it, go right to the top line. Don't start by looking at your fixed costs. Not saying you shouldn't, but don't start there. Where you should start is, am I collecting everything that I should? Do I have a high accounts receivable that I'm not collecting? Am I not selling enough? Am I not charging enough? And then you go, yep, I'm charging everything I can, I'm collecting. Then you would look at, but what is then my variable costs offsetting? Am I paying too much for supplies? Do I have too many direct employees related to that? Am I overpaying my salespeople? Do I have too many dentists? Do I have too many hygienists? Do I have too much direct cost, variable cost, because I want to make sure my gross profit is as high as it can be? And then if you say, yep, I've done everything I can, or I've trimmed there, then you would look at your fixed costs, that overhead costs that then affect your net income. So most people are going to first focus in on what you should focus in on last, which would be the fixed. Here's why it's important. If you're a small business owner, that net income is what you live on. So what I would urge you to do, one extra step, is what is that net income before you pay yourself? Because then you're going to know realistically, are you being paid the right amount? All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. And if you like my video, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. This guy over here that's got this big old pipes coming out of his car clearly needed to show off. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. And if you love my videos, I'd hope you subscribe, and then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. Don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.